for our football season. Today we have this week we have East Carolina. This will be the second of 3 home games during the month of October. Kickoff will be at 2:35 p.m. Central. A couple things concerning the game. The game itself will be streamed live on Tulane's All Access package. There'll also be a live feed back to Greenville on WITN TV. Once we have satellite coordinates for that, if they become available, I'll send them around. And then finally, same-day tape delay broadcast at 6:30 p.m. Saturday night on WHNO TV of the game. A couple of announcements for this week only. Practice for tomorrow and Thursday will be closed to the media. However, coaches and players will be available at the Wilson Center following practice. Tomorrow will be available at 11:15 a.m. here at the Wilson Center, and on Thursday at 11 a.m. here at the Wilson Center. And then finally, since next week is a bye week, we obviously won't have a press conference. So our next press conference will be 2 weeks from today, heading into the Tulsa week. And now here's our head coach, Curtis Johnson.
I must say, this week is a lot better. My wife's breathing, and so the doctors really did a great job taking care of her. And then I'm supporting breast cancer. My sister's a breast cancer survivor, so I got her supported. And she didn't see enough breast cancer stuff on me, so I'm gonna have more pink on this week. But it was a good game, good win for us. I thought we did a good job defensively. Offense, they played well when they had to, and special teams were awesome. Questions? Well, I think we just got to execute a little bit better. Again, it starts with running the football. We got to do a better job running it. Our couple backs are banged up, so we just got to, continue to run it. Against this team, we can't throw. If we do, we become one-dimensional. They'll beat us. We just got to throw and pass and be 50-50 if we can. If we come out of this thing 50-50 running pass, we'll keep this game pretty close. Yeah, they just banged up throughout. I mean, running backs get banged up through, just from the season, and just the wear and tear of being physical players as they are, they're just a little bit banged up. Well, it's funny. His mom almost killed me when I made the move. She came up. The whole family came up. I mean, they were just on me because they want him to be a receiver like his older brother is. And, we thought that skillfully that this kid could play defensive back. Well, he learned the position, and he's beginning to learn. I think Lionel Washington's a great teacher. He and Jason Rollins, they're teaching him the game. They're teaching him, how to play defensive back. And he's just being more and more confident every day. He's a kid that practiced hard. He has big-time speed, great ball skills from playing the receiver. And I think the biggest thing he's done is tackling a lot better. And if I was the other teams, I wouldn't throw on him. I mean, because he's gonna pick you off, I think you're absolutely right. Here's what Nick is. Nick wants every play to be a great play, and it's not like that. You got to throw some away. We got enough good plays in the playbook that I always tell him there's another good play. So last week, this past game, he took some shots, and we got other good plays. He can't just continue to play like that. They'll kill him. So we're working with him on that. Just getting down, sliding. You're absolutely right about the internal clock. You just got to throw some of those balls away, and I think it'll be better for him and it'll be better for our team. Absolutely. It's a learning process every week, and with him, the curve is kind of flattened off a little bit because the offensive line play is pretty much stable. It's getting better in increments, but very, very slow. We're playing younger and younger kids. We're getting younger. We're playing Jaquette more. Who's a sophomore. Maturo's a young kid, hadn't played. Zach Morgan hadn't played in a year, and then we also got Chris Taylor who's coming in. He's playing a lot more. So we got this youth movement going on. So Montana, what we got to do is we got to get the ball in his hand and out his hand as quickly and as fast as we can. Here's what I think. First of all, he's an NFL player. You look at the scouts, and they don't say anything about these guys. These older guys, these young guys, they just kind of give you a wink. I've had several winks on that secondary, on that young secondary. So I just hope that we don't write this and then all of a sudden all our kids apply for the draft as sophomores. So, I just, I'm looking at a lot of guys that in the future are going to be good players. Defensively, I think our defense is playing outstanding. The one thing that I'm most proud of is turnover ratio. We talked about that going into it, that we create turnovers, we have a chance to win. I think the defense, they bought in. They're doing exactly what we said we want to do. We want to turn guys over. I think Jordan Batiste is doing a great job, also getting turnovers, playing his role. So we are getting to the point where we are doing what we said. 39th is good, but I mean, being a coach, I'm a little greedy. Greedy is the grave. I want higher, better. Well, Doss is a player. He gambles within the constraints of what we do. I don't know if Lionel would call it a gamble. I think he's playing like his coach wants him to play, and sometimes you got to take some chances. I think all those guys do, and Batiste had a great couple gambles last week, and he got a couple picks. Doss did the same this week, and you feast or famine sometime, but we'll balance that out.
You mentioned that you thought the offensive line was playing about as good as they can play right now. There were times that looked like Montana would get 2 steps into a 3-step drop and already pressure.
Mm-hmm.
If you could just kind of expand on that.
Well, sometimes I think Montana just got to get it off. I watched the NFL game last night, the second half of it. This quarterback had pressure in the A-gap. Nobody touched him. He got the ball off and completed. So it goes with both guys, the offensive line. They are on a learning curve, and so is the quarterback. They're learning. And, he just can't take shots. Some of these shots are like I say, self-induced, and then some of these shots are schematically at the offensive line not making the right calls. One time, our center made the wrong call and got him hit. But that's going to happen. It happens at all levels. He'll get better. I think the biggest deal is just getting the ball off and getting it out of his hand. Let's throw a couple of these balls away and then save yourself for another day.
I've heard you talk about East Carolina for a few weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been sneaking some preparation in the last couple weeks or so?
Well, I would say this. East Carolina is one of the better teams on our schedule. You look at them, they're big, they're physical, they run well. I mean, Ruffin McNeil's a friend of mine. I know the guys he recruit. And, I mean, they got great players, across the board. The quarterback's good. The backs are good. The receiver had 16 catches the first game of the year. So this is the one team that you look on the schedule and you say, okay, here's a team that we got to measure up to. And, I don't know if we're there yet. We got some wrinkles that's going in this week, but we're not there yet. So we just got to play up as high as we can and hope they play a little bit down and make this thing close, and maybe we can get a field goal at the end again.
They look like they have a really strong run game. It's another physical challenge.
Absolutely. Our defensive line, I challenged them the first day. The first day of the week, we challenged the defensive line, and I think, with Chris Davenport, Warms, and those guys, they ready for the challenge, or they will be ready to take on the challenge. But our defensive line playing good. They could play better. They're playing pretty good. We just got to continue to get better and better and better. The only chance we got to stop the run. We got to make him one-dimensional. We got to put pressure on him also. We got to get some 3- and 4-man pressure on this guy. And I put this game on the defensive line this week. It's up to them to get East Carolina. I put on the offensive line the trenches. We got to run the ball and we got to get pressure. We got to get 3- and 4-man pressure on this guy. Well, I'm happy with the progress that the players are making. The record could be better, but the progress is what you're most happy with. When you coach something and it's done, for instance, that last drive, that's one of the things that we practice all the time. Once a week we practice this what we're going to do in this situation, and it worked to perfection. We talked about interceptions and what we're going to do. We talked about moving Jordan Batiste inside some, where he can line up with these little quick receivers, and he's doing an outstanding job. This defensive front's doing well. So that type of progress is pretty good, but you just got to continually get results, and we got to continue accelerating this learning curve for these young kids, these young players. Well, I think you got to run the ball. I think part of the second half was, you go up and you punt, they score, they got a long drive, then we come back, we get a first down, then we get a three, then we punt, then they punt, they get ready to kick it, we block it, we score, they back on the field, they drive a couple plays, they throw a pick to Dawes, he scores, they back on the field again, so that will throw you a little bit off rhythm, but I think my hat's off to North Texas. I think they got a whale of a defense. You look at the end of that game last week, and I talked about this last week against Georgia in the third quarter, early fourth quarter. It was 21-21, same score as that we had. So this team is a good football team. They play defense with the best of them now. So I thought we hung in there. We won the field position. We won the turnover ratio. So inevitably, we got the drive when we needed it, and we won the game.
What is the difference that is really taking place? Is it more in the interior with those defensive tackles, or is it more coming from the backside?
I think it's the defensive tackles and the defensive front is the first thing that you start off with. If you ask me, the number one position, what are you going to go out and draft, or what are you going to recruit? I'm going to go out and draft or recruit defensive linemen. I'm going to draft or recruit corners. And that's what, if you look at our list, that's what we do. It's corners and defensive linemen. Everything else, it doesn't take a back burner, but everything else is secondary. As many as we can get, we taking them and we playing them, and those guys are fresh. They play a lot, but they all are fresh, and they play good, and they play hard. And so, I like what this defensive line is becoming. And the corners on the back end, all those guys can run. All those guys can really, really play well. They're not afraid to tackle. That's the biggest thing that I'm impressed with, their tackling ability. They get guys down. There were several third downs this past week. They got those guys on the ground. If you continue to do that, you continue to win some games, and we turn the guys over.
That is a significant difference as well. You guys have 5 defense that you play, 5 defensive tackles. How much has that changed with the game?
It changed the whole atmosphere of what we do around here, just because if you get depth at those positions, those offensive linemen, they play 5 guys, and they play those 5 guys all game long. But if you got 10 guys that can play against 5, and some of those guys are pretty good players, if you get a guy that's going to play 20 snaps hard, you got something going. You got something going. So I like what we're doing on the defensive front. John and Quan Drake they're doing an excellent job. Well, I think they looked over on the bench last year and they said, we got nobody else. So you just got to have amnesia. But I think those kids come in the program, and they started playing at such an early age that's the only thing they know. They may have gotten burned last year or this year. They look on the sideline. We just got to keep pushing guys out there, keep pushing the same guys. We're beginning to develop some depth in that secondary also. But I think you're absolutely right. Jabari and those guys always talk about it. We do one-on-ones at the Saints, and, hey, I got amnesia. So they just forget about it and go break up the next one.
Is the fact that you're closing practice an indication of the importance of this game?
Well, all these games are very, very important to this program. But I think this is the one benchmark program that you would say, I'm looking at this team right now this year, and saying, okay, if they just put 55 or whatever it was on North Carolina, this is a good team. And this is one team that if we can hang with this team, I just got a feeling that we will be really, really good down the stretch.
Along those lines, what measurements did you accomplish with that?
I think this team and then Tulsa is the 2 programs that you look at, you say, golly, these are the teams that you kind of look at the benchmark of this conference. So I think those are the 2 teams that that you got to look to.
You look at the tees. I mean, off my memory, I counted 3 third down stops. You brought him in, it seemed like in critical situations, and he just had another score. Maybe you could talk about kind of his performance at touch.
We go back and forth with Jordan. We like to split him in half. We like him out wide against wide receivers, but we also like him in short area because he has great short area quickness, great instincts, great ball skills, and he'll catch those balls that, he had a couple picks where he'll catch, it'll be pick 6. So, and I always tease Speedy and those Lionel and the defensive guys. I say, he's our honey badger. He's the one guy that's on that field that reminds me of the honey badger, and he is. And so finally they kind of wrestled with me, and we moved him inside, and he's just playing phenomenal.
Yeah, because it looks like he paces when he's not in the game. Like, he just cannot wait to get in.
Absolutely, and he's doing a great job. You know, we got to find ways to get him on the field around the ball, because one thing he does, he tackles well.
Now, Nico played really well early on, recorded a lot of tackles. Did he fall off later in the game, or did the pace just not come in?
It's not what he's doing. It's not his deal and what's going on. What teams are doing now, they're not running the ball very much. And if you go back and watch the drive and know, Texas is one step and throw, one step and throw. So he's gang tackling. He's doing what he's supposed to do. But it's not just this one-on-one. We're going to run. We're going to do this. They aren't doing that very much.
How are you injury-wise? You have to practice.
Darkwar, Kelly, Montana did a limited stuff. I think that's it.
What's wrong with Montana?
I mean, he just took some hits. You know, his bunch of hits. Kelly took some hits. Well, I told him after the game his dad should invest in an ice tub because they can afford it. But he's just sore. I mean, he did a little bit, threw the ball a little bit, and did some stuff. But he's just he should be. He better be. He told me he would. So. Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think Darkwar's a little bit further along than Kelly is. Kelly didn't do much today, but he'll be ready.
CJ, can you just bring back the moment at the Carl field goal, just the war on the field, and how the tough summer and everything, and the workouts and everything built up to that moment, these kind of moments that they live for?
The thing about Cairo is such a good person, and he struggled with this past couple of weeks, and I see it in his face all the time. And so, he missed a couple, and it was like, for him, it was devastating. But I told him, hey, look, you're human. So we got in there at halftime. I told him, I said one thing. I said, look, son, get your head up. You're going to win this game for us. And it just happened to be like that. I trusted him. I got full confidence in Cairo. And then all of a sudden, you look up, he's around. He's tough on the field. He made a big tackle for us. He's a tough young man. He plays to the best of his ability all the time. I just, I can't say enough about him, but just seeing him in that moment, when the team carried him off, was probably the biggest moment for me being here in this program. Anyone else? Thank you, guys.